All right, cool. How do I look?
I mean, you look good. I don't. Is that it?
I think so. Yeah, it's recording.
Okay, so you fly a lot. Why are seats important to you? Do you think? What's important about a seat in an airplane?
That is a great question.
It's not a sexy subject, but when you're in the air, your derriere matters a whole lot. That's right, the seat of the pants flying we aviators all want to aspire to, maybe it actually requires a quality cushion for our tushin. Q3 uniform deserves one last final mod to the interior. And in all seriousness, you won't believe what goes into all of this and the seat frame demons that lurk under years of uninspected, gross upholstery. So we're going to peel back the layers on Q3 uniform, a 1963 Cessna 172, and give our rumps a bump into the future. It's been a long time coming for this seat project, talking about it for years, and finally it's here. I'll be taking a trip north to Wolf Lake, Alaska, just north of Anchorage near Palmer. Getting up in the air, the sunrise was absolutely incredible with a perfectly still November sky. The Kenai Mountains just outside Homer held the perfect silhouette. Soon I was passing Anchorage International, fascinated of the scene from above. Long early winter light strands stretching the shadows across Alaska's largest city and airport. Now approaching Wolf Lake, the winds are more than I planned and I'm second guessing my ability to land. Finally arrived, it's time to check in at Sport Aircraft Seats and say hello to Daniel.
What's up?
Hey, Angel of Attack.
That got my heart rate up.
Dude.
This is Daniel, founder of Sport Aircraft Seats. After a quick tour, we sat down and started to talk about his business.
So when I was 16, I just turned 17, came to Anchorage, my brother was here, and we started an upholstery shop. That's the simple version. He had learned to do upholstery from this old guy, and he was working as a mechanics helper. And so I said, what's a business we could start? And he's like, well, all these companies that I've worked for need seats. And their seats are all crap, and there's no solution for that. So I came to Anchorage and we started it with I had $800 I'd saved up looking at the grocery store. And we bought a sewing machine and a bolt of fabric and rented a corner of a hangar in Anchorage. And I just worked in there. I looked like I was 12, but I was 17. I sold the business to my friend. And then long story short, when I was 28, I started this company. That's when I designed our current system. Zero downtime is what we called it. And it basically just allows anyone without skill to install seats. And they're always going to look the same. If I install them, if your 10-year-old installs them, or if your mechanic installs them, they're going to look the same. We just have our materials here, our patterns. We have, a couple hundred patterns individually for all kinds of different Cessna and Piper seats. And that's where we keep them. This is Jacob. Jacob he's laying these out and just marking it. Basically, we take a hide and we just find, get the best part of the hide, make sure we're dealing with the best part of the hide. And we bed these pieces into it. And this is actually your seats right here. Wow. Anyway, it flows around this way. So this is where we laminate foam to the material. So the sitting surface of the seat has 1/2-inch foam glued to it. And then we stitch into that, and it kind of gives it that indented look. And this is where we do that. We have a series of sewing stations, and it's just basically assemble the seats. There's all kinds of different steps you have to go through. I'll put it really simple. We're doing all the work here that you would normally have to do when you're installing the seats. Yeah, so I've recently realized that part of our product is the process, because it's very difficult to get seats reupholstered unless you like know someone and they're good and you know they're good, and like, you know, Roy down the street that has an upholstery shop happens to be a good guy and he's done airplanes and stuff. Unless you luck out and you have that scenario, it's a difficult thing. It's difficult to know, is this person that I'm taking my seats to going to do a good job? What are they going to put in there? You're going to come back with a seat that's all glued together and you don't know what's in there. Case in point, I know a lot of people that have had brought seats to me that had like 4 layers of upholstery.
Wow.
Like the original upholstery, a little bit of foam on top, another upholstery, a little bit of foam on top, another upholstery. And it's all just kind of there, and it weighs like 70 pounds, you know. So that's one of our products, is the process, because it makes it easy. And so if you decide you wanted seats, you would go onto our website and you would, we have a seat designer on there. And so you can go through, you can see what the seat will look like, pick out foam thickness, color, material type. Do you want seat belt loops, pockets, things like that? And then you would place an order. And then at that point, I'll call you or you'll email me or text me pictures of your seats. You don't need to take the upholstery off or anything. You just snap a photo of them. And I have instructions on the website on what angle to take them at and stuff. All of our covers are very specifically made to perfectly fit whatever seat frame you have. And so, yeah, you order the seats, takes 10 minutes, you send the photos, and then the next thing that'll happen is you'll get a kit in the mail, and it'll be a completed kit. Yeah, and it'll be ready to install. And then you just watch our installation video, and you go at it.
New seats will look great, but that's not really what pushed me over the edge. This is all being done in the name of safety. As Cessna owners, we regularly look at our seats and seat rails, or at least we're supposed to. Broken seat frames or seat rails can create some seriously scary situations.
What is important about a seat? Obviously, you spend a lot of time in an airplane. I literally flew my airplane down to Wisconsin and back. Instructors are in and out of their planes a ton. We're not just flying long distances, like we're in and out of the plane constantly, doing 1 or 2 hour flights with a student. But comfort at the end of the day, like that's a really big deal to me. Like you guys have opened my mind to this idea that there are things I'm not seeing going on with my seats. And so that does concern me, and I want to get ahead of that. The reupholstering an airplane is one of probably the last things you would do if you're like redoing an airplane. But thinking of the safety thing, like it feels for me like it should be one of the first things that I should do.
So yeah, Mario is my brother, and he does the seat frame repair. He's like the best at it. It's weird for me to say that. It sounds like it always sounds like it's probably a lie, you know? Yeah, well, someone will call me and they'll be like, hey, do you know anyone that can do that? Yeah, my brother, Mario.
What are some things you've heard happen with people's seats? Not just rails, sorry, but the whole structure of the seat. What are some things you've heard of from clients?
I had one guy where the seat broke, the seat back broke. And then if that had happened, on takeoff or a critical phase, it could have been deadly. And so I think there have been fatalities from and Cessnas from the seat pins not engaging and the seat rolling back on the rails. I think we're on like the 3rd revision on that seat rail AV, and there have been fatalities from that. So it's serious. It really is. We have experience looking at aircraft seat frames, so we probably have, more seat frame specific experience than maybe anybody else.
Mm-hmm. So say that, someone sees this video and they want to send their seats to you.
I have people send me seats all the time. I got 3 or 4 on the way now from all over the country there. And I'm available to, just call me or text me pictures of your seats, and I can, I'd be happy to answer questions or, work with your mechanic on the phone or whatever. This is a serious business that the seat frames be inspected and that they're sound. And so I'm willing to give whatever help I can. I feel blessed to have had the experience I do have, and I guess there's kind of an obligation to share that when I have it.
A quick question for you, the viewer, to answer in the comments. Has this video already made you more aware of the safety issues surrounding seats? We'd love to hear your comments and any scary stories you've heard of, or maybe something that's happened to you. We think it's a big deal, so we're happy to be doing this at 2-3 Uniform and sharing this new safety idea with you.
So we're just taking out the seats, because that's what's happening. The seats are getting all refurbished. You've been good, seats, but it's time to upgrade.
It's no hard feelings, it's just business. We have to fold up the backs to get it to...
All right, can come around. You should be finding stuff in your pocket. Oh yeah, there we go.
Nice, Chris.
Out with the old, in with the new. That's awesome. We got a cinematographer. We've got the producer. Here's the director, or talent, whatever.
Okay, ready? Here's the shot.
Sweet. Okay, front seats. All right, there's my seat, the right seat, the instructor's seat. You can see how it's all bolted on the bottom, stapled on, right?
Yeah.
I'll let him do the podium.
Okay. Oh yeah. You done good. You've been good seats, but it's time to go.
He couldn't help himself but to start inspecting my seats right away, turning them over and having a deeper look, using his decades of expertise.
All right, we are rolling.
So the first thing I do is always take the backs off these. Find it kind of easier to mess with them. And there's a spring in there. There's 2 screws on each side. Hold the back on. This one here is where the back actually pivots. And this one here, all it does is holds a spring. And so if we put the back in a reclined position, it unloads the spring off of this screw. It makes it easier to get it out. It just comes right out like that.
Nice.
Otherwise, if the back was folded forward, then it would have load on it. Do the one on the other side. These flat head screws. And take that one out, and then now we put the seat forward. Now you can see that spring. See this? That screw that we just took out, all it does is holds this spring in here.
Okay.
Which pushes against there. And they don't want that spring to get into this piece and erode it. So that screw, it just kind of holds it there so it never comes back here.
This is pretty fun. I don't do stuff like this often.
Yeah.
Just seeing people work with their hands and an expert on something like a seat.
Okay, and take this one out. And it just slides right out like this. And then what we do is we just kind of stick this one back in here, because this part here actually has 2 bushings in it. It's got this bushing here, which is what that actually pivots on. So when this bolt is tight there, then it's actually tight on this bushing in there. So it can still pivot and it won't be tight on this part. And then it's got this bushing here, which kind of is just for the spring. And so all that stuff is in there and at risk for falling out and getting lost.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll just stick this back in there, and then that keeps that all together. So we'll just set that aside for now, and then we'll start. The next thing we'll do is take the upholstery off this and kind of look at it. So this, see that? This, there's a steel part right there that's broken. But we can fix that. It's maybe hard to see, but.
Cool, you already found something.
Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, so we look at these feet. There's an AD on the Cessna seat rails, and part of the inspection is inspecting these feet and these rollers. This roller here definitely needs to be replaced. You can see there's part of it's missing. The ones that McFarlane has, it's 2 parts. And, so that one needs to be replaced. This also has kind of an interesting groove right here. See how it's worn right there?
Yeah.
I don't know. You need to look in your airplane and see what that's rubbing on. That's rubbing on something. The other thing we look at is these things here. They're on this shaft. What do you call that? A tube or rod, and it has a spring here that should keep it, have good tension on it there, because that's what engages this back, these pieces here on this back. And Cessna made a few different profiles of this piece. I think they call this the cam, and each one of them has a different length of this piece. Yeah, I've seen some crazy things. One of these will be broken and somebody will change just one, and it'll be a little different profile, and so it won't fit right, and then they'll try to make it work somehow. But if one of these breaks so that only one side's holding the back up, then the back will almost always crack in this corner or up here in that corner. So it's very important that those both engage at the same time. So that's something to look for. These look like in good shape. This cam is in good shape. You don't have any problems there. So that's good, because these parts can be expensive. Your handle's missing, we can hook you up with a new handle. I do have 3D printed handles available on my website.
Nice.
So got those. So we can work on taking this upholstery off. Looks like it still has the old upholstery underneath.
Ooh, we got a layered approach here.
You got dual upholstery. So let's see if your old upholstery is in better shape than your new upholstery.
Look at that. Okay, this is surprising.
Yeah.
I am pretty surprised, I have to admit. Dang. I'll be even more excited if we find something underneath it that's wrong.
Yeah, there's not too much
But
else.
I mean,
you
you have access to the points that usually fail already.
There could be a crack in your frame here or something, but I'm not expecting to find that. But
Is it the sort of thing where it usually comes in threes? It's like if they're already crappy, then
yeah, you look at them, and I've done enough of these. You kind of get a feel for what kind of shape they're in. when you look at them. Well, there's your original foam.
Original?
Well,
I mean, it was the original seat, so it must be.
Yeah, they apparently didn't replace it when they put those new covers over top.
Dang.
Yep.
So does that spring structure stay there?
It can.
Or what do you guys usually do?
Usually Daniel just puts backings on there.
Okay.
You know, cloth backings, usually gets rid of those.
Man, this is going to be quite the transformation.
Yep, so there's your frame. It's, looks like it's in pretty good shape. Sometimes we find these holes wallered out where the back attaches, but I've done repairs on that. This one is slightly on the inside on that one, but I think it's gonna be fine. So this here, this piece here it's like a little strap piece made of aluminum. You can see it's kind of wallered out there.
Okay, yeah, I see that.
So we'll fix that. I got more of those.
So when someone sends you a seat, you basically, do you make a list, or is it just kind of like you work with it until it's right?
Well, it depends on the situation. You know, usually I give the person inspect it, then give them an estimate. You know, how much it's going to cost for all the parts it needs and stuff. And
If anything, it's just nasty.
yeah. These, sometimes they're quite nasty.
I can't believe people do that.
Yep, so we still got that same old upholstery there.
Some questionable design choices at the time. Are those backing springs taken out too?
Yeah.
Wow. So his seats just have enough structure where that's not an issue?
Well, he uses just a piece of canvas.
Okay.
All the later Cessna seats were done that way.
Gotcha.
The later ones didn't have springs on them.
So that's how the tubes usually are at the top, those just two little...
That's for the headrest, yeah.
Oh.
If you
So
want.
on mine, they just decided to punch those through and just keep it simple?
Yeah.
Or this is originally welded in and then you have the headrest that goes in separately?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, this is originally
Oh, okay,
welded in.
gotcha.
It looks like the original upholstery had holes for the headrest.
Yeah, it did have them.
But
the green doesn't.
Yeah.
I haven't had them, but
Yeah.
the originals clearly did have a headrest.
these, sometimes we do find cracks in these corners here on these.
Okay. And you won't see that until the material's off.
Right. But this one, I don't see any problems with this. These are really in pretty good shape. So
That's good.
How
How often would you say you find problems, like on a...
I think it has to do with, I mean, usually all the seats I see have problems, but because people don't bring them to me unless they have problems. But
Gotcha. Well, that's pretty bare bones.
yep. So then we will we'll replace what parts need to be replaced, and then we'll disassemble it. We'll take the rollers out, send it off and get it powder coated. Then when it comes back from powder coating, we, reassemble it, ream the holes that, for the rollers and stuff, clean all the powder coating out. Yep.
Clearly, we have a lot of work now needing to be done. From bringing the frames into the future and making them safe, to adding the pretty and comfortable stuff on top with Sport Aircraft Seats upholstery.
So we do a lot of our foam with jigs. We make jigs so that we can cut foam in various shapes. And this is a cushion that's in process of being made. It has this extra firm foam around the edge. One thing I found is that the covers like to break down over time, and the higher density, the less it breaks down. And so around the edge, this top soft layer breaks down. And so another step we take to make sure these will last as long as possible is we put this extra firm layer of foam around the edge that gives a little more rigidity so that the cover looks nice, for years to come. When someone orders seats, they're going to get a file with us that has all their information, their aircraft model and IN number and pictures of their seats, so we know what frames they have. And we'll take all that information and put it into a work order. Anyway, as we're working on this project, we're going to put all the items into their cubby here. And this is kind of our cubby system. You can switch it around and make it bigger or whatever. But it's like a tackle box, but it's vertical and it's huge. So you'll end up with a cushion. And like I was telling you before, if you look at this, you're getting this cushion, and there's other companies out there that make upholstery kits, and you're basically going to get a piece with their kits. You're going to get a piece of foam, and you're going to get a cover, and you have to glue the cover to the foam and glue it onto the seat. It's a process, right? Well, ours, this is what you'll get. So it's already contoured, it's already shaped, everything's there. This literally just slides over the seat and it Velcros on, and it's upholstered. Done. And like I said, we don't want our customers ever see foam. And so it's totally encased in the thing. It makes it a little more complicated to make, but like I said, that's okay. So once we've assembled it, we'll do final quality control checks, clean it up, and then if you're out of state, we'll box it up and ship it to you.
There are a lot of upholstery shops out there, so why did I pick Sport Aircraft Seats? Apart from the partnership with Mario to dig down deeper into the safety aspects, it boils down to it being a brand that comes with a quality reputation. And with that, 2-3 Uniform and her seats are now in good hands. Mario will ensure my frames are redone to the highest standard of quality and safety. Daniel and his shop at Sport Aircraft Seats are going to rock the covers, as you've seen, and of course that's just going to put a fit and finish on the cockpit of 2-3 Uniform to really lend to that big panel project that we did a few years back. In the next episode, we're going to go pick up the seats and see what's been done. Not only that, we get to be part of the install itself and see how it all comes together. This DIY process can literally be done by anyone, anywhere with just a few items, and that's what makes this whole process cool. You, if you choose to do so, can do this yourself to your seats. And if a butt can crack a smile, there's no doubt it'll be smiling about these seats. So we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for joining. Fly safe. And until next time, throttle on.